Hello everyone. In this video I want to talk about passive voice. Passive voice, what is it? I'm sure that you have been familiar with active sentences or active voice. In active voice, the most important is the agent. The agent becomes the subject, but in passive voice, the receiver of the action is important. Okay, let's see the form. The structure for simple tenses. I grouped the tenses into two, the simple tenses and the continuous tenses, because the structure is different from one to another. That's why I write here structure for simple tenses. Active, subject plus verb plus object. So only the sentence or the verb that has object, direct object, that can be changed into passive. So I repeat, the active sentence that or whose verb, whose predicate has the direct object that can be changed or can be converted into passive. So like this, object is put in here, object is put here, so you move object as subject, and then the predicate here plus be plus verb 3, and then the subject by plus agent or agent. So the subject here becomes the object here as agent. Of course, the subject in active and passive will never be the same. If it is the same, so it will be wrong. Let's see here. Beta particles can damage human tissue. Passive, human tissue is put here. Human tissue can be damaged, verb 3, by beta particles. So beta particle, the subject here, and then it is moved here, by beta particles. So this is the agent. That's why from in passive voice, the most important to show the tense is the to be here, because all of the verb is in the form of verb 3 or past participle. That's why you must know the form of to be. We have 5 forms. Usually we have only 4 for other verbs, verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, and verb 1 in order present participle. But for to be, you have present form is MR, and then verb 1 be, and then verb 2 was were, verb 3 been, verb 1 or present participle is being. So you must remember this because this is the most important. Let's see the example in simple tenses. We have active, subject plus verb 1. So now your focus is on the verb 1. Because this is simple present as you have seen in the previous slide, that present, the to be is MR. So we put is MR plus verb 3 plus by agent. People use beta radiation for some machines. Beta radiation is used for some machines by people. And then simple past, active, subject plus verb 2 plus object, and then passive, was, were. So the verb 2, the past form of to be, that is was, were, and then verb 3 plus by agent. Tsunami damaged the cooling system at the Fukushima nuclear power station. And then the cooling system at the Fukushima nuclear power station was damaged by tsunami. You can see here that the object is in such a long phrase. So when you put the object as the subject here, you must understand the meaning. I put all of the phrase here because it relates to the cooling system. If you separate at the Fukushima nuclear power station, the meaning will be confusing. For example, the cooling system was damaged by tsunami at the Fukushima nuclear power station. Why? Tsunami in power station? Of course not. What is in nuclear power station is the cooling system. That's why you cannot separate the cooling system and at the Fukushima nuclear power station. So you move all of the phrase here as the subject. Next, simple present future, S plus will plus verb 1 plus object. Will and then verb 1. So verb 1 of to be is P. So will plus P plus verb 3. Don't forget about this. Verb 3. So you change this verb 1 into verb 3. More and more countries will use plutonium to generate electricity. Plutonium will be used by more and more countries to generate electricity. So here, to generate electricity cannot be cannot be put here, because it is to show the purpose. So just leave it here. Just leave it here. Simple present perfect, active, subject has have plus verb 3 plus object, and then subject has or have been. Don't forget. So we use the verb 3 past participle of to be, been plus verb 3 by agent. Scientists have found shock proof for the maintenance crew. Shock proof has been found for the maintenance crews by scientists. Be careful with this. You must be careful with the verb agreement in this sentence or any active voice. Scientists, this is plural, so have, but here it is singular, so use has. So be careful with this, especially in tenses that relates to the verb agreement. And then for the maintenance crews, you have to separate this because it is the same as this one to show the purpose. So separate shock proof with the purpose here. And then the next is simple present future perfect, as will have plus verb 3 plus object. As will have been. It is not as will be. No. Subject will have been plus verb 3 by agent. Scientists will have built a concrete shell to protect the radiator before the experiment begins. So you have a concrete shell, the same as this. So this is the purpose. Then you put it here, like this. A concrete shell will have been built to protect the radiator by scientists before the experiment begins. If you have a clause, if you have a complex sentence like this, you should only change or convert the main clause into the passive. You don't have to convert all of the sentences into passive. Fortunately, that this is the begins here is intransitive, so you don't have to change into or convert it into passive voice. Okay, next. The structure for continuous tenses. Look at this. Active subject plus be plus verb 1 ing plus object. Look at this. We have to be and present participle. So the characteristic of continuous tenses is to be and verb 1 ing. That's why in passive voice you have subject plus be plus being plus verb 3 plus by agent. Why being? Because we need the present participle form while the verb has been changed into verb 3. That's why we need being. So be plus being. So being shows that the tense is continuous. Try to compare it with the simple tenses. You have only subject plus be plus verb 3. I hope that you remember about this. Okay, let's see the examples. Present continuous. Active subject is MR plus verb 1 in plus object, and then is MR being plus verb 3 plus by agent. It is easier, I think, in continuous tenses because you don't have to determine which to be that you have to use in passive form, because you just copy this, you just add with you just add being and verb 3 like that. Some scientists are searching for super flexible and excellent conductor. Super flexible and excellent conductor is being searched for by some scientists. Again, remember about the verb agreement. This is plural. Sorry. So you have are, and this is singular, so you have is. And searching for, you have the preposition. For here is not the same as in the previous video that it shows the purpose, but this is the preposition that connects to the verb, or the verb is phrasal verb, so you must have this like this. Is being searched for. Why there are two prepositions? It is strange, no. The way you read will make you understand that two prepositions actually are needed here. Super flexible and excellent conductor is being searched for by some scientists. So you can understand now that for is, or for belongs to the verb search. And then past continuous. Active subject plus was were plus verb 1 in plus object. You have was were here being plus verb 3. The students were learning how carbon can transform itself into different forms. Whoa, the object is long enough. Yes, because this is noun clause. So because the object is noun clause, you move all of the noun clause here. It will be a very long subject. It's okay. So how carbon can transform itself into different forms was being learned by the students. Be careful with this because there are two predicates here. Can transform. But it is not the verb of the main clause. The verb is here, were learning, so was being learned. And be careful with these forms. Why not were? No, this is not the subject. The subject is the whole noun clause. That's why this is was. So this is singular. Okay, the next is present future continuous. Subject plus will plus be plus verb 1 in plus object. And then you have will be being verb 3. The doctor will be checking the feather's condition with RMI. So the feather's condition will be being checked. Will be being checked with RMI by the doctor. I still have two more. Present perfect continuous. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. Actually, continuous. Yeah. Active as plus has, have plus been plus verb 1 in plus object. Passive subject has, have been, being plus verb 3 by agent. The scientists have been discussing the combination of liquid oxygen below minus 183 centigrade and liquid hydrogen below minus 253 centigrade. It seems that again this is a very long object. So put it here, all here, and then has been being discussed by the scientists. Again, have been, the scientist is the subject. Why not this is have, while it is liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen, there are two? No, because the subject is the combination, not the liquid oxygen and the liquid hydrogen. That's why it is present. It is singular. Has been being discussed. And then the next is present future perfect continuous. Subject plus will plus have been verb 1 in, and then as will have been being, verb 3. Okay. Some athletes will have been using the low temperature cryogenic chamber for therapy. So you have here the low temperature cryogenic chamber for therapy. So the low temperature cryogenic chamber will have been being used for therapy by some athletes. Okay, this is the converting of active to passive. How about if we have it in the other way around or vice versa? So you must remember about this. The most important is the to be. As I told you before, that in passive, what determines the tense is the to be. That's why if you have is, am, are, and then verb 3 without being, so this is simple. If there is being, this is continuous. So you just look at the to be. Is, am, are is present, so we have present. If it is was, were, oh, this is past, so it is simple past. That's why you must memorize the structure of the active tense. That's so you can understand, oh, this is was, were, past, verb 2, so simple past is s plus verb 2 will be. Then it is simple present future. Simple present future is will plus verb 1, like that. So again, when you have to change from passive to active, your focus is on the to be here. And if there is being, so the tenses must be in continuous. And of course, you put back what you have already moved from active to passive by people. So people is the agent, so people put it as subject. And then beta radiation, you can see here beta radiation is in object. Okay, and I want to continue that you should pay attention on this. Active voice with two objects. It is possible that you have active voice with two objects. The teacher is explaining his students how dangerous ozone is to respiratory system. So you have two objects here, his students and how dangerous ozone is to the respiratory system. So this is the noun clause. You have his students and the noun clause. Because both are the object, so you can make two passives here. His students, just put it here as the subject, and then this is present present continuous, so are being explained. The teacher is singular, students are, so his students are being explained how dangerous ozone is to respiratory system. So this is the noun clause, put it here. Actually the sentence is the same as like this. The teacher is explaining how dangerous ozone is to the respiratory system to his students. That's why when you put the noun clause here as the subject, you put it to the students here. You can put by the teacher here, by the agent here, but if you think that it is not important, you may skip it. Usually we don't have to write the by agent here when the subject is in pronoun like he, she, they, like that. But if it is noun, yeah, it's up to you. Do you want to put it here by agent, by the teacher here, or not? It's up to you. And then we have active voice with noun clause as object. scientists have proven that hydrogen is highly flammable. So this noun clause can stay here if the subject is general. Scientists or people or they, if it is general, you don't have to move the noun clause to be the subject, so just leave it here. Then to fill this place you put it. So it has been proven that hydrogen is highly flammable. You can have it also in other conjunction of the noun clause, like WH question, like what, when, how hydrogen, why hydrogen, blah blah blah, like that. So again, if the subjects of the active sentence is general, you can put it in this kind of structure. Okay, the next is active with preposition. Scientists worry about the use of the reactive substances in school laboratory. So we have worry about, it is the same as the sentence in the previous slide that uses a phrasal verb, that is search for, that I have explained it to you. So the same as this. So this is phrasal verb. So worry about is not the separate preposition. So the use of the reactive substances in school laboratories, the object or the direct object of this verb. That's why you can put it here. The use of the reactive substances in school laboratory is worried about by the scientists. Don't forget to put the preposition here. Sometimes the students forget to put about. They just miss the preposition. But compare this to this. Radium reacts fiercely with water. It cannot be changed into passive. Why? Because with here is not the preposition of the verb, or this verb is not phrasal verb. That's why water is not the object or the direct object of the verb reacts. Radium reacts fiercely with water. You cannot have water is reacted by radium. No, of course not. That's why this cannot be changed into passive. Be careful with this. The next is passive without by agent. You can find, it is possible that you find the sentence without, passive sentence without agent, without by agent. It is so because the writer want to focus the receiver of the agent. The receiver of the agent is very important, but the agent is not important. That's why it is not written. Like this, an aluminum or iron pan can be heated on the stove or washed in water without any reaction. Actually, if you want to insist on converting the sentence into active, it's okay. But if there is no by agent in the sentence, in the passive sentence, you must find your own agent as the subject of the active. For example, in this sentence, you will have he or people. So you have people can heat an aluminum or iron pan on the stove, or wash it in water without any reaction. So you have it like that. But again, it depends on the meaning. Yeah, it seems that this sentence doesn't need an agent, so we don't have to write by agent here. Again, when you change the passive sentence into the active sentence, the agent is the subject. If you cannot find the agent here, never take any word here to be the agent, because the meaning will be different or the meaning can be wrong. For example, oh, water, oh, there is noun here, water or reaction, and then this will become the subject. Reaction, heat, reaction can heat. What reaction can heat? What does it mean? That's why again, never use any word in the passive sentence that has no agent to be the subject. So you must find yourself. Okay, I hope that you understand about passive voice. If you still don't understand, I hope that you can learn it by watching this again and again until you understand. And don't forget to have a practice, because practice makes perfect. And I also provide you with some explanation in my website, also with some exercises. So don't worry about whether this is difficult or not. I'm sure that you can do it. Okay, thank you for watching. Goodbye.